tiny penalty zone on Kimi. They're not beginning.
You have got a new victor. You have got the new kings in the arena. Eliminators winning the series out.
But he just a tiny penalty zone on Kimi. They're not beginning.
You have got a new victor. You have got the new kings in the arena. Eliminators winning the series out.
But he just a tiny penalty zone on Kimi. They're not beginning.
You have got a new victor. You have got the new kings in the arena. Eliminators winning the series out.
But he just a tiny penalty zone on Kimi. They're not beginning.
You have got a new victor. You have got the new kings in the arena. Eliminators winning the series out.
But he just a tiny penalty zone on Kimi. They're not beginning.
You have got a new victor. You have got the new kings in the arena. Eliminators winning the series out.
But he just a tiny penalty zone on Kimi. They're not beginning.
You have got a new victor. You have got the new kings in the arena. Eliminators winning the series out. victor. You have got the new kings in the arena. Eliminators winning the series out.
But he just to tiny penalty zone on Kimi. They're not beginning.
You have got a new victor. You have got the new kings in the arena. Eliminators winning the series out.
But he just to tiny penalty zone on Kimi. They're not beginning.
You have got a new victor. You have got the new kings in the arena. Eliminators winning the series out.
But he just to tiny penalty zone on Kimi. They're not beginning.
And welcome back, folks. We have an exciting game waiting for us. It is the Legends Unleashed Season 3, and I'm your caster Baldudu, and I'm excited to announce a game between SRRE Esports versus Friends Forever, with SRRE on the blue and Friends on the red side. And since SRRE is a really annoyingly long name to pronounce, I'm gonna stick to calling them by their IGNs and the blue side. So the bans have already unfolded. We've got into action right away. And please, viewers, like the stream, share it in all your platforms and all your socials, and interact more. Let's get this as popular as possible. But speaking of the bans, it is the chip that's taken out, followed by the link on the red side. And now it's up to Drax, who has to decide the second ban for their team. And he has responded with a Suyo ban. While instantly there's a response from Friends Forever as they've taken out the Zuzhan for themselves. And there is a timer on the third ban. We're waiting. J6 is taking a sweet time trying to decide, strategizing with his team to figure out what needs to be taken out. And it's the last few seconds. The clock is ticking, and he has to come to a decision. And it is the Carmela. The bloody curse will not be up this game. And viewers, we do have the third ban on the side of Friends Forever. It's Noblesse who has to take that final call for them. But on the other hand, before we get into any further action, I am pleased to introduce my fellow caster Ray to the stream and to this game. He's going to be our caster, giving us a lot of hype and doing a lot of amazing analysis.
Damn, Baldudo, you're really, really flattering, man. I'm not that amazing, but thank you so much. Appreciate those compliments, man. But anyways, I am glad to be joining with you on this match. And sorry for the delay from my part. There was a little bit of like an issue on my hand, but it has been fixed. And so, anyways, Baldudo, like, can you give me a slight introduction to both of these teams?
And right now, it is a match between SRRE Sports versus Friends
Ooh,
Forever. The bans are pretty
okay.
straightforward, and Timeline has instantly picked up the Alice. It is the first game, of the day, and
Mm-hmm.
in the Legends Unleashed tournament, Pickles has picked up the Yuzong, and I think you have been all caught up. Take over.
Oh, I am curious to see because SRRE, team, I think they're called Impunity, another name for them. I've seen them perform in many of the tournaments, and they have been such a force to be reckoned with. They have went toe to toe against like squads of like ABM as well as SMAF. So I'm curious to see how they'll be performing against Friends Forever's team, who has the squad initials as Tank. So let's see how Noblesse will be performing on that as we're proceeding on the first priority picks. Alice being priority makes sense, and Tigreal, usually I wouldn't say he's a good priority pick, but considering the squad initials, well, I guess he might be a very important priority pick on their part. But I am, kind of excited to see a sudden Paquito pick coming in. What do you think of this pick, Baldudo?
And the Paquito pick not usually seen nowadays in the laning phases. He's not, he doesn't have that charisma that he once had amongst the laners.
Yep,
He's been kind of a forgotten hero ever
yep.
since, a lot. The tanky heroes have been a lot more in common. He's got a
Hmm.
lot of nerfs. Moonton does not like the Filipino boxer. But yes, it is nice to see him because it's one of the heroes I main too. Apart from the
Ooh,
Leo, it is the Paquito. So
ooh.
I'm happy to see the hero being picked up, but we have to see is this pack gonna be going into the EXP lane or are they gonna refresh things with the Paquito jungle?
Yep, I'm curious with that as well. And I'm really delighted to know that Paquito is actually one of your mains. And yep, you are absolutely right, considering like he was such a buzz, I think a few seasons ago, like Paquito was an absolute monster to be facing off against. But yep, the meta just shifted. He's still strong. He wasn't. I think there was a slight nerf in some of the scaling, but other than that, he's still strong. It's just that the meta, just like you can notice, like look at that, the Alice being picked off, quite a sustaining hero compared to someone like Paquito, who is a completely burst fighter. So it makes sense why he's not favored as much as anymore. But I'm excited to see how they will be performing. Not to mention they prioritize the Angela quite early on. Usually I've been seeing a lot of Angela combined with Alice, like going to the jungle. So do you think this Alice would also switch to Retribution instead, Baldudu?
The Alice on the red tree, the jungle Alice, not a bad idea to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
there is the Lunox, there is
Mhm,
the Tigreal, and sending your Alice into the heart of a Yuzong Lunox combo is just asking to get absolutely
mhm.
shredded in the lane.
Yep, yep, definitely. And we are already finished with the second phase of the drafts, and we are seeing the Bane jungle as well as the Moskov being cut out. Moskov is a very formidable marksman, but I don't really consider him to be that much of a ban worthy. But I think it could be a respect ban from the side of SRRE, who have done their homework on their opposing teams. And Tera Bab Abel making a debut with the Balmond. Balmond did get a recent adjustment, but I'm not sure how he will be performing against someone he cannot even catch. It is Terran on that Fanny, not to mention the Edith coming on as well. So I think we'll have a really spicy match with us, in our hands tonight. Like really, really like interesting composition from both sides. Balmond and Paquito facing off, and let's see what will happen as we're proceeding into the last pick. What do you predict they will be picking?
Well, they need some kind of gold laner unless the Lunox is going on the mage. Sorry, on the gold, then they need some kind of CC setup. But I
Mhm.
guess you already have enough CC and finishers. You need someone who's a stable source of damage, and And
Mhm.
Brody is not a bad option because you don't need any D. You could take something that relies on DHS, but they already have the shred from the Nox. So I guess you could go for Brody. His
Mhm.
torn apart memory will be really good to catch that Fanny because
Yeah.
it's really hard to auto lock onto a Fanny. It's just really annoying.
Mhm. Yep, I really agree with that because Fanny could have been a massive disaster, but picking up that Brody does give them a little bit of a chance because he can easily stop the Fanny with his second skill, and not to mention, just like you said, the torn apart memory can catch her if she tries to escape. So they do have a proper setup with the CC, with the damage, and we'll we'll only have to wait and see how both teams will be performing. It's been so long that I haven't seen Paquito. I almost forgot that he has the collector skin, the blazing tiger. I haven't even seen this skin in many of the tournaments, so I'm curious to see the effects. And with that, the drafts have been finalized, and both teams are looking quite strong with the balance. But I think, you know, the side of Friends Forever, they're going in for a more tanky rock composition with the Yuzong, Balmond, and the Tigreal. So we'll have to see how they will be executing it as we are proceeding into the Land of Dawn. Which draft are you favoring at this point, Baldudo?
Well, right now I'm liking the draft which the Fanny's team has.
Mm-hmm.
SS the blue side. They do
Yep.
have a diverse options of the EXP. You have CC. You have sustain. You have escape. You have
Huh?
burst. But speaking, what is going on? Instantly, there's a solo kill at the bot side. The Paquito just what? Who? How did he die? I think he just walked into the turret. I think there's some kind of lag.
Yeah.
I,
Yep.
I I don't think it's
Yep.
yeah, because
Yep.
Pakuto didn't get the EXP or kill either. It was a turret
Yep.
kill. Yeah,
Yep.
I
I
was like,
think that was
what?
a Yeah, that was a very awkward, I think, a lag issue coming in from the explainer of the side of Friends Forever. But I think it might get fixed right now because he's not really, or is he still walking into? Nope, he's not walking. I think that was just an early issue. But, you know, given the fact that nobody got a kill, I don't think that was much of an issue. He didn't even miss out the minions. But look at the top lane. We're seeing the Fanny being taken out quite early on. I think Chardin was underestimating the damage coming in from the Balman who has been buffed recently.
And the Balmond is, he's able to pick up some kind of kill contribution for himself already. A good start for him, not so much for Fanny, because
Mhm,
despite being the early game hero, she
mhm,
is getting pummeled right now. She lost her buffs also, and she's finally reached the level 4 at close to the second minute mark as the turtle will be up.
mhm.
Ooh, there
Yep.
is a pin, and
Ooh.
instantly a kill secured. The damage was absolutely insane. Lunox had no chance to even flicker out of there. Noob
Yep.
King was, his throne has been taken right now. But nobody wants to start the turtle anytime soon, I guess. I guess Balmond is going to take his blue and then move towards the objective.
Yep, great rotation coming in from the XP laners, becoming level 4 for the side of Team SRRE. The tanks from the side of Fence4 were still lacking on the level 3, so I think they have the slight advantage. Paquito charging in already quite aggressive. Look at that Edith also knocking off that Tigreal. Alice also coming into the scene. Yuzong using up his Black Dragon form as well. Lunox using up her Brilliance form to escape from the onslaught that was happening. Edith still using up her skill. The Hard Guard is onto that Alice. No, it's onto the Edith. Fanny coming into the scene as well. Double kill for the Alice as well as Fanny securing, oh my god, a triple kill. The goal laner of the side of SRRE. Great response time. Well, Brody didn't, come in the team fight at the moment's notice and they didn't gain the upper hand that they required.
And that was, despite having the early upper hand, they did end up throwing that fight terribly because that was almost a complete wipe from their side. That Lunox has fallen twice. Well, Yuzong twice, but he's actually died once. The first time doesn't count due to the the network issues. We all have that thing the first time you say lag. And ooh, Paquito with a really good knockoff strike, the lag form being used. There's a dive from that
Ooh.
Tigreal, but too late, too soon. Fanny with those cables left and right. Stop, nobody can stop her. The shutdown picked up on the Edith, but that's not enough as 9 kills on the scoreboard for the side of SRRE as they take the firm advantage in the first 5 minutes of this game.
What a brilliant play from the side of the Fanny. The Balmond used his ultimate as well as the retribution combo, and usually it is, guaranteed kill. Oh, Fanny was looking for that body, but she will just be escaping. But anyways, I I really thought Balmond was going to get the turtle, with the ultimate and retribution combo. Somehow Fanny stole it. Like despite the Tiger trying to create a nuisance for her, like that is very impressive retribution coming in from Starin. No wonder he's one of the good junglers in India right now, and he's really proving it despite the early hiccup that happened, giving away the first blood, is really proving why he's such a good Fanny user. And I think we are just in a little bit of a cool off stage, but Yuzong will just be retreating.
And baiting out those black dragon forms,
Mm-hmm. I
is really good. And I think they're gonna pick up this gold shield on the bot side and take up a significant amount of that turret. But the Tigreal is there. Noblesse does want to keep it alive, but he's too late. By the time he walks over, he already gets picked off, uses S2, hits nothing but air. Balmont wants to commit. The recalls are out. Simon using those emojis. The Paquito is pure. He is putting on a show right now, but nothing more than the Fanny, who's been absolutely phenomenal after that first blood.
Yep, I think she took it personally because she wants to show that first blood was just not even a hindrance for her, because look at her absolutely being so confident, even securing that little wanderer without any hits, not even using up the retribution. And the second turtle will be coming in soon. The black dragon has been baited, but I think it will be coming up soon. So, oh, the hard guard has fallen into the Paquito and he's trying to charge in. And I think Balmond will be taken down. Yuzong still doesn't have his Black Dragon form. He might be in a little bit of an awkward position. And yep, he is taken down as well. Baiting it out quite early on was such a great, decision from the side of SRRE, as they will be going for an uncontested hurdle. And also, Baldudu, since you're a fighter main, like, can you explain the emblem choice for Pickles on that Yuzong?
Well, right before I get into that, Nuke King has used up his dark form, picking
Uh-huh.
up a kill on the ultimate. Brody is there trying to deal some damage, but nothing so far. Tigreal, the stun locked up on Brody. He wants to use the torn apart memory, but gets burst instantly. The Yuzong with the Black Dragon form diving into the fight, using up the Furious Dive. The Shah Residue doesn't activate on the Angela. She's able to sprint back to safety with the hard guard movement speed as Balmond is spinning left and right, clearing the waves for now. But Fanny re-engaging, but she does not have her buff. And finally, that fight is over as Alice picks up a kill on top. But Pickles using the concussive blast, I'm kind of quite confused myself
Mm-hmm.
because he's not. It does make sense if you're making a lot of HP, and if you're not going to make the Domice, but I would rather prefer the Quantum Charge or maybe the Brave Smite. But Brave Smite has been nerfed by Moonton every few days. Also, there is a fight on the bot side. The Pickles will fall to Charon's burst. The damage too much to sustain. The steel cables, an absolute menace to deal with. They want to chase on to Lunox. There's no escaping for her. She does use her dark form, dashes out, buys herself a second, but that is not enough.
Yup, and look at the side of the, like, this feels like at the first moment, it felt like maybe the side of, oh, look at Paquito doing the freestyling, dodging off the ultimate from the Tiger Hill, the implosion. Alice jumping in, and Edith was the one actually securing the kill, but Simon will be falling off. Penny coming into the scene, might be looking for the pickup onto the Tiger Hill, and an unstoppable coming in from the Fanny, really showing the dominance. Look at the KDF 518. Like, it would have been zero if there wasn't a hiccup, but well, what happened is happened. But right now, she's showing a great performance. And Angela and the Alice, look at their KDAs. They haven't been taken down even single once.
And it is a really tough game right now. And
Mhm.
right now on the mid side, the turret is barely standing. I do not know how have they managed to keep it. I guess it's the power of friendship because that's
Friendship,
what their squad is named, Friends Forever.
the power of friendship united them and helped them defend that mid lane turret somehow. The tier 3, one of the most important objectives in the game. But the Lord has already up, and I think they will be losing it soon, despite their power of friendship. As I think Penny is trying to eye the Lord, and Balmont doesn't really have that much of an option. I think even if he tries to steal it, he will get melted down quite soon. Look at the Fanny trying to charge in, maybe bait out a few ultimates from the Lunox, maybe the Tigril's implosion, and it looks like they will just be proceeding to the Lord anyways.
And they've started the Lord up already, but the damage is low. They do not have that burst required. The Black Dragon form used, Noblex taking hits, gets immobilized, is gonna get melted instantly. The Fanny is really
Oh,
low. A shutdown picked up by Pickles, doing an absolutely phenomenal job on that Black Dragon. The Shar Residue activates the Heart of the Oasis on this Angela. She escapes with no resources left to burn. Simon and J6 are chasing. The Furious Dive used
oh
up, hitting
no!
nothing but air. He uses the cycle. He is chasing left and right, but the sustain, it's three people left over. He is trying everything possible, buying so much time, but the jabs from Paquito take him out finally.
That was funny to see. Like the recall con coming in, knowing that Yuzong had no chance of escape, the petrify being used up, as well as the all of his dashes. They just were playing with him like a hunter playing with his prey. What a sad scene to see. The great pickoff on that Fanny, he was able to secure it, but it doesn't really matter because the goal difference is still 6,000, as well as the look at the kill board scoreboard, and you can see like a complete deficit coming in from their side as the Lord has been started again. But I think they're still really, really hungry for the engages. Look at the Edith as well as like Alice is also trying to eye up, and look at the Fanny trying to bait out the brilliance from the Lunox. She is vulnerable. Oh, diving into that Brody instead, switching up her target. Hard guard coming into the Fanny, but she will get taken down by Balmon's ultimate. Yuzong's Black Dragon form coming in. Tigreal's implosion being used up. Balmon trying to deal as much damage as possible, but Paquito is into the scene. His burst really strong. A double kill as well as a legendary for that Alice, as Tigreal is the only one standing against the world, but he might also get taken out. What is that? A dash coming in, helping him secure, and hard guard coming in to save Paquito from any form of danger as they'll be proceeding back to the Lord.
I'm sure Timeline did scold the Paquito for making that kind of unnecessary play. Instead of going towards the Lord. And I'm kind of confused. Why take the Lord so late when it's close to the 12-minute mark already? But yeah.
Yep. Yeah, like they should have taken it quite early on, or maybe they should have just been waited for a few more seconds to take the Luminous Lord and end the game as soon as possible because odds are in their favor. They are performing really well. The side of the fence forever, they are not able to respond back with the proper countermeasures. They are doing their best, but it's not enough. They've been able to take down the Fanny, who is actually quite squishy. Lunox using up her brilliance quite early on into this engage, aided with the hard guard on top of her, dealing quite a lot of damage. I think the implosion play will come in. No, the Brody instead gets taken down. Implosion coming in, but he's already quite low. Killing spree for that Angela. And Yuzong is trying to make a little bit of a play, but the damage coming in from that Paquito will not will be enough to kill. Oh no, another legendary for the Alice instead. I think we have the MVP in our hands. It will. Oh no, no, look at the KDA of timeline on that Angela.
Like this man is trying to farm the MVP on the Eagle. He's on some Eagle shit, but Timeline picking up a mega kill on that Balmond. It is almost a wipeout. It's only Paradox who's left over, but instantly gets shredded down by Drax. Drax did stay
Oh
at the start of the game. Remember the name Drax. As the Aegis crumbles, they're gonna siege the turret, and with that, the game is over. And it is a very, very clean victory for SRRE Sports as they take the win with that insane KDA of the Angela with a 12.9 for 024 KDA.
yeah, I knew the Angela was going to get the MVP considering the KDA was insane. I mean, she was already getting all of the assists and then at the end getting the mega kill. That was a confirmed MVP with that. So I think I don't really have much of a comment. Like, I think the draft were quite balanced, but it was just that the execution coming in from the side of the team SRRE, it was much more beautiful. They were not able to catch on to that Penny, who was really showing her, dominance after uh, the slight hindrance that happened in the early phase. But anyways, the victory has been taken by Team SRRE, and you can say the last words for now, Baldedu.
And that's all for now. I don't have anything much to say. It was a very clean game,
Yep.
but the Fanny really, I thought there was a chance for Friends Forever, but the second the Fanny locked in and Drax locked in, I realized like it's going to be very hard for them. You know, there was a few miracles coming by Pickles. He did a great job, but that is not sufficient for you to carry against five. And with that, it is game over for this match. We will be right back after a short break.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Legends Unleashed Season 3. This is Day 3, Round 3 between Nungsibahuni versus Too Legend to Quit. I am your caster Asuya and I will be joined by Sebastian. So, what do you think about the first base bans here, Sebastian?
Hello. Welcome everyone. As you said before, I think Carmilla Ban is pretty strong here, considering how well she's been doing in the current meta as well. What do you say?
Well, yes, absolutely. Her curse of blood connecting onto five people, or even if it's connected on to three people, it can be a disaster for the enemy, for the allies. So, yeah, a pretty
Mhm.
good ban right there. But as we speak, and Alice has also been banned. Recently she has climbed up the ranks. Her pick rate has gone up in the gold lane,
Mhm.
especially. So, yeah, pretty good bans coming from both the sides.
The Alice ban here is going to be very important because she can also not only go in the gold lane but also jungle as well. She's quite tanky, especially with the new update as well.
Well,
What do you
yes. But I do feel that a jungler Alice takes some time to gear up because she needs some of
Mhm.
her core items before she can actually join in, jump into fights, especially because she needs
I
to
agree.
dive in far behind towards the squishies. So she does need that support, maybe an Angela, but at the same time, just look at that Sebastian, that Phobius along with the Link has been banned, but at the same time, a Fanny ban is quite weird because I haven't seen any of these teams play so by first, but they're banning a Fanny. It could be a respect ban. I don't know.
So yeah, I think they do not want to take a risk with the Fanny Jungle or the Fanny Roam. And look at that, the first pick goes to Khalid, who has been doing such an immense strat, especially on certain uh, top tier teams that I've played before. They really know how to utilize Khalid as well. What do you think about that?
Well, absolutely. Khalid has his pick rate has gone up. Like literally, he is number 33 when we talk about his pick rate right now in all the MPL tournaments, everywhere in the ranks, because people have realized that he is that jungler. He has right from the start. He
Mm-hmm.
has that mobility like Benedetta. He can literally clear up two lanes at the same time. He can even
Mm-hmm.
harass the enemy jungler from
I agree.
second one. So yeah, a pretty good pick right there. But at the same time, just look at that. They have traded in with a Hayabusa along with a Vexana, but I am seeing a Kagura pick there, Sebastian.
Kagura is pretty strong, but why would they pick a Kagura when the Hayabusa is there? It is literally her counter. But then I think the chip pick for their roamer is gonna do a pretty good job because once again, as we all know, he brings the enemy towards you. So it's you can't really escape him once he has his ultimate lockdown on you. So yeah, this is gonna be nice.
Well, yes, absolutely. Not banning that chip is kind of weird because I think a chip could be a better brand than a Fanny, but at the same time, we do not know what they were cooking up. But yes, more than if you ask me, that chip's ultimate is a kind of double-edged sword because not
Hmm.
only your, allies can jump in, but even the enemies can teleport through. But at the same time, if you
I
ask me,
agree.
Sebastian, more than that ultimate from that chip, I really hate his stun on his skill because it's literally such a long skill right stun right there, and he can just
I know.
disorient you so much. Yeah, so annoying, right?
Just when you thought you've escaped his CC, he just has more, and then he also deals damage according to the HP he has. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty annoying. And with that, I think we're looking at a Ruby ban. She has been picked so much in the gold lane as well, so that is going to be a pretty good counter ban because I think majority of the marksmen cannot survive against Ruby with her sustain as well.
Well, yes, absolutely, but at the same time, just look at like one thing which I wanted to speak here is that prioritizing Minotaur in the first three picks from the side of to Legend to Quit is kind of weird because many of the other you know options, so many power heroes are still open, and yet they go in for a Minotaur.
Mhm.
And picking up tanks so early into the game, while Diggy is not been banned, it can be countered pretty easily. Even Valentina is open. Oh wait, they do have that Kagura, but
Exactly.
at the same time, Diggy is still open.
Exactly, I agree with you. But as we all know, I think maybe if they want to go a little bit of a little troll, or maybe like they really want to annoy their Minotaur, they can go Valentina in the EXP lane and let the Khalid go into the gold lane. And with that, we are seeing an Edith ban. As we all know, she is very versatile in not only the gold lane but also in the roam as well. So, along with her damage from the marksman, it's not really a choice for the red team as well. Beautiful.
Oh, well, if you ask me, you are right. Edith is quite an annoying hero, and at the same time, she
Hmm.
does have two of the counters, one being absolute CC, which can be provided like, mages like Vexana or especially
Hmm.
that Aurora. And the second most optimal option right there is the Lolita. But at the same time, the enemy already has picked up a Minotaur, and they already
Hmm.
have a chip. So yeah, Edit doesn't have a counter right there. Banning her could be a good option, especially because the red team haven't picked up an EXP laner. Meanwhile, Khalid has already
Hmm.
been picked from the other side. Now, just look at that. Even the Claude has been picked up. I think he is a pretty good option right there because he can, dodge the chains, the damage
Hmm.
from that Kagura. But at the same time, just look at that. They have gone for a Moscow and an Alucard for the jungler option. I don't see Alucard much in the tournaments. I think I don't know what to say about that. What do you think about that Alucard pick right there?
I would say, Asya, I would say that Alucard is a very good hero. It's just if the enemy has too much stuns, it's a bit of a hassle. And someone like Hayabusa to really counter out his ultimate and make him useless. So that is gonna be a pretty bad issue for the blue team as well. So, and the Claude, I would say from the red team, really, really, really good pick because he, as we all know, they have removed his mana, so you do not need to worry about going back to base all the freaking time as well, just like before.
Oh well, and at the same time, just like that Alucard looks like some sus pick right there. But at the same time, Kagura seems to be the same. I think an Aurora
Hmm.
pick could have been much better because literally they can like that Hayabusa can counter that the Lord. Two of the main people which you would be trying to lock down can counter that
Hmm.
Kagura's combos. But at the same time, one more thing right there is that you know um I don't know, maybe like right now both the junglers are starting from the EXP lane, so they might be going to gank the gold lane right there.
I agree with you, Asya, because in here in this match, it's the goal laners like Moskov and Claw that are really gonna bring a change, especially during the mid game. Because of their farm, it is gonna be a pretty strong fight here. If one of the gold laners win, it's gonna be pretty much one-sided. Because we both know how both of the marksmen that are picked against each other here are gonna the amount of damage and raw DPS that they have. We both know how much they have.
Yes, and at the same time, I do see that Moskov in a bad position because just look at that, four of the people right in the top lane at the same time. Chip going in, trying to provide some vision, and look at Alucard. He jumps in because he's already level 4, but Chip takes that first blood, and Minotaur will also be taken down at the same time. Um, I think that was I don't know what to say because Hayabusa is quite behind in the form right now. At the same time, just look at that. Just like I said, that stun from the chip will be an annoying thing, but just look at that. They are diving in for that Lord, and he will also be taken down. And Chip uses up his flicker
Oh my.
meanwhile.
The early game damage coming in from Chip is pretty annoying. And look at Khalid, he's going in on a 1v4 right there with the flicker to escape, but his second skill is cancelled out by Minotaur. A really, really bad positioning there for Khalid to be taken out as the turtle has been spawned as well.
Well, yes, the turtle has been spawned, but I do see that Alucard does have a pretty, better option right there. But the ultimate from the chip has been deployed. Alucard enters. I think Minotaur will be in a bad position. And yes, he will be taken down at the same time. That Kadot Kacha missing on to his ult and Revitalize has also popped in. But Hayabusa has been stopped by that chip. But just look at that chip with the killing spree, taking down that Hayabusa, letting the blue team take that turtle for free. Things are not, looking good for Two Legend to quit right now.
This is not good because Alucard is getting farmed. He is pretty much a double-edged sword. So if he is farmed, honestly, there's no stopping him, even with a huge amount of CC and an anti-heal as well. Because even without the healing, he also has the damage to make up for all the loss lifesteal that the anti-heal is gonna bring from the red team as well.
And one thing is that Sebastian, Hayabusa is that kind of jungler who needs a kind of, snowball, especially in the early game.
Mm-hmm.
But just look at that
Mm-hmm.
Kagura took down that Vexana. So when I was saying that he needs a kind of snowball in the early game, when there are too many tanky heroes, it gets a bit hard for him to,
I
be
agree.
that prominent person in the fights. And just look
Mm-hmm.
at that, he's being denied of all his gold, he's not farming up. And if this continues, I don't think so chances will be pretty good for the red team, because Alucard is been farming up pretty well. Just look at that, he is trying to take down that Kacha, but he will be using his ult to escape. And Hayabusa is just there because he knows he doesn't have that damage right now, he cannot kill any of them.
The Warcry emblem setup for the Alucard is such a menace to, especially on a hero like Alucard. And look at the Trip ultimate coming in to take down the plot once again by Khalid and Alucard. Their rotations are really, really wonderful to see here. Such a really beautiful play.
Well, yes, absolutely. Giving away that chip was kind of a big mistake, if you ask me, and
Mm-hmm.
that's something which I will keep on repeating because he has that stun. And moreover, this farming speed for the blue team is pretty good. At the same time, they know their objectives because just before the turtle spawned, they already were level 4. Even Chip became level 4. Even the roamer with such a good leveling up, I don't think so. Like, that was a pretty big mistake because at that point, the red team Vexana wasn't even level 4. So I think one of
Exactly,
the
I
reasons they
agree.
lost out was that. And now just look at that. The entire game is snowballing.
Oh my gosh. The Hayabusa has no damage even to go against the Kagura right now, which is the hero that he can easily counter as well. But look at Chip, he is giving that vision as well. That vision is what is going to be the probably the most important, especially in a group fight, because look at that, the ultimate coming in once again and a mega kill for Chip.
Just look at that damage from that chip. At the same time, Mino Fury has been deployed and Hayabusa will be moving out, but at the same time, the Minotaur is not in a bad position. He will be taken down along with that Katot Kacha, who looks for the double kill, but Vexana looks in a tight spot right there, and yes, Alucard will be taking that killing spree, but oh god, he
Oh
just
my
his
gosh.
basic passive, he just escaped in 1 HP. Oh my god.
That was so close. They probably are laughing right now in the voice chat as well because he almost made a very very crucial mistake. And look at the Khalid. His tank emblem is such a problem because he's very very unkillable right now with the meta as well and the thunder belt adding up to his defense along with the amount that he can heal. So it is very very bad. This is a very bad news for the red team. And look at the scoreboard. I just realized it is 11-1.
Well, yes, and with that goal lead of around 5 to 6K, I would
Mhm.
just look at that. That Hayabusa only has one of his items. Meanwhile, look at Alucard. He will be looking to make his third item. Just look at that Hayabusa with his ultimate onto that Kagura, but the damage is not enough, and he just moves on. But at the same time, Claude in a bad position. What a beautiful flicker from his second skill, but 4 people onto him, 5 people. I don't think so. There is a chance for escape, and the Eternal Guard has also been dropped down. Alucard will be following up, taking that kill, even though he has to dive in. And I think this is a bad spot because Hayabusa will be taking that shot down onto that Alucard. first of those essential kills, but at the same time, Khalid moving around like nothing, tanking up, soaking all the damage he is receiving right now.
Oh, was very accurate there, taking out the Claude as well with his ultimate, accurately hitting him. And I think the mid lane goes away for the red team, which is going to be very crucial because remember the mid lane turret has a lot of vision, so this is going to be a very bad situation for the red team. And look at the Hayabusa; he's trying to side lane push as much as he can without the team knowing with his skill as well. And I think Kagura is in trouble. No, she will be able to escape that. And the Alucard going in, and the chip very well placed placement right there with the ultimate going in as well. And I think this is going to be a wipe out for the red team with the Moskov and the Khalid in. This is going to be a very one-sided group fight right now, and the Alucard also gets a kill as well along with the turtle. So this is not looking good.
Well, yes, absolutely. And that Vexana in a pretty low HP, haunted by the Khalid, he is looking to take her down. And yes, no. But instead, he will be taken down. Of course, he was over engaging. But at the same time, the way the blue team has all farmed up and the high amount of gold they have, I think they should be trying to group up together because I don't see any other options for them. But just look at that. The entire map has been opened up thanks to that chip. And not to mention that amount of damage, the solo damage onto that Claude, especially in the early game, it was like he can almost take him down alone. He doesn't even need his jungler, he doesn't need the mage. He has so much damage.
I agree with you. He and his stun is pretty long considering how he is a support hero. But then again, he has some really look at the ultimate coming in from the Moskov. Such an accurate player right here. Wow.
Yes, absolutely. But just look at that. Kagura has so much damage right now that she can solo that Minotaur, even though he is a tank. But an absolute domination. I think it all started snowballing when they gave out that chip. And
Hmm.
yes, because he is the one initiating those team fights so beautifully. And just look at that. At this point, even Moscow has been farmed pretty well. Gadot Kacha trying to deal out some damage, but it is not enough. The Ultimus has been popped up, but he will just be looking to retreat because it's 1 versus 4 at this point. Just look at that. But the Spear of this Destiny has connected. I don't think so. Moscow
Beautiful.
will be going in. At the same time, Hayabusa trying to deal out some damage. But of course, he cannot. He'll just be able to cushion out that damage. But instead, he is taken down. And oh my god, Sebastian.
Look at the heal from Khalid. He doesn't need to recall at all. He is the recall. He is the fountain himself. If only he could heal his teammates as well. That is not gonna look good on update. But then again, I think this is pretty much one-sided. The blue team, they look like they're just giving them a kill because of silly mistakes that they are making.
Well, yes, absolutely. And just look at that goal lead of around 10k from the side of the blue team. It is not looking good as the first Lord marches down the mid lane. But at the same time, they do have that Vexana, they do have that Claude. So I think they will be able to successfully defend because it's just the first Lord at this point. And I think Kagura will be looking to, one more thing that Kagura is taking out that Vexana pretty well. And I believe, she was picked right because of that Vexana because she can purify all the CC she receives from that Vexana. But at the same time, if Vexana was all farmed up, it could have been an easy kill. And just look
I
at that,
agree.
Kagura missing her ultimate, but that Gadot Kacha is in a deep trouble and will be punished for the same engage.
The Minoan Fury with the flicker sadly does not look at that. I think it is a shutdown on the Kagura from the Hayabusa as well. That second skill placement from the Kagura wasn't quick enough to take down the to get away, sorry, from the Hayabusa and the Moskov. Look at that, he barely escapes Vexana as well. Vexana is definitely showing up some damage. So if they can sustain, and the Minoan Fury coming in from the red team, if he can really connect those two skills as well, it is going to be a pretty good wipeout coming. Looking at the red team.
Well, yes, and at the same time, Alucard is all farmed up. I think he can go 1 versus 3 at this point. And one more thing which I
Hmm.
wanted to say is that Minotaur not connecting his ultimate properly. First of all, I was quite, kind of feeling weird about that priority pick on that
Hmm.
Minotaur. And yes, that is showing up because he's not able to connect. That Kagura can simply purify. Chip can stun him
Exactly.
before he can even initiate, but at the same time, we are seeing a small skirmish in the top lane. Vexana moving on, and she will be using that chain CC onto that Khalid, but I think she will be the one paying because she is all solo and Khalid will not be taking any damage at this point because he is all tanked up, ready to soak up all the damage. And at this point, I think the blue team is just looking to clear the lanes right now because it's only like, the Lord will be spawning back in the 26th minute seconds.
The blue team is really, really tanky, but also they can really dish out a lot of damage a lot because of Khalid and the chip as well. And look at that. There's a lot of damage going in into the Minotaur as well. So that is not looking good with the Thunderbelt stacks on both of them as well. And look at the ultimate connecting into the Minotaur with the Kagura to be taken out from a group fight to the Lord. They will not be able to secure the Lord this time, and the red team can only defend as they might be losing the match now as it is a second Lord coming in. Look at the second skill and the sustain with the freeze coming in from the Khalid along with the flicker to get away from the Gatot, and look at Hayabusa barely saved, and the Alucard goes and takes down the Claude as well. Oh my gosh, what is happening?
Oh, well, yes, and as the Lord marches down, I think this will be game over as the people are locking down on the base. The team fights does not matter, and with this, the blue team have secured this victory. What a beautiful composition! What a beautiful synergy and absolute domination from the side of
Mhm.
Nungsi Bahuni. So, what are your thoughts about this game, Sebastian?
I would definitely say, like you said before, they really fumbled up when they gave away that chip and the Khalid as well. So this did not look good. Even though the Alucard pick was a little weird, it really worked out for them because they had the damage and they had the sustain. Not only did they have those two, they also had the CC to build up for the Alucard to farm up in the early game. That really messed up the game for the red team.
Well, yes, absolutely. And at the same time, I believe that Hayabusa was pretty slow in the farming speed.
Hmm.
And that early when the mage, even the roamer, along with that Hayabusa, were just level 3. Meanwhile, the rumor itself was level 4, and that's what led to the
Hmm.
main assault onto the red team,
Definitely.
and that's where the entire game snowballed. I firmly believe that Hayabusa should have circled around because he does have that mobility and taking down that
Definitely.
Kagura after they have exhausted all the resources, but nothing of that sort happened, and yes, the entire game snowballed. So
Definitely.
we will be going for a short break. Please stay tuned for the next game. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Legends Unleashed Season 3. This is Day 3, Round 3 between 5 Bros Vansis and 14K Bengal. I am your caster Asuya, and I will be joined in by Ray. So, hi there, Ray.
Hey there, Rasya. It's been a while since we've been, casting together. Especially, I think this is the first time we're casting in this tournament together. So it is, such a pleasure to be here to be casting with you again. But thank you for that great intro. And let's jump straight into the draft stage between these two teams, which have really unique names under their belt. Five Bros, One Sis, and 14K Bengal. Let's see how they will be performing as we are seeing. I think this is my first time seeing a Martis bend in this meta. What do you think of that, Asaya?
Um, I don't know. We cannot think anything out of it because Martis isn't a usual ban. And I think it
Never.
might be because maybe they did some homework and one of the players from the red team is pretty good at playing Mortis. That's the only thing, I can say. He might be a respect ban, but at the same time, Zushin along with Hayabusa and Ruby have been banned out. So, Ray, do you think a Chip and a Ling will be banned? And just like I
Yeah.
said, Ling was banned as I spoke.
Yeah, you are always on point with your predictions, Asaya, as usual. And looking at the names of the players, I'm just, like trying not to break out in a laughter because if you look at the names on the side of the 14K Bengal, you'll see Misho Kairi as well as the Sur Jakanantas, like very, very creative names, very hard to pronounce. As a caster, our job is to, call them out when they perform great plays. So it is going to be hard when Sur Jakantas Rem performs a great
Well,
play. And on the other hand, we also have the side of, Fibros Wantes, and all of their names are in Korean, as well as Selmon Pai. Can you read any of them? Because I seriously cannot.
Well, yes, I can read. The second one is Park Cheng Yong, and the third one is 감사합니다.
Okay, so they are just putting on the greetings from the Korean.
Yeah, I mean, at least 감사합니다 is.
Okay, got it. They are going very well for non-Korean speakers. They're gonna be sound very intimidating. Like, oh, what can this be? But for a person like Asuya who can read Korean, this is just a nice greeting. So I guess they are a very friendly squad for their opposing teams. Let's see how friendly they will be performing because they have banned out a respect ban, and it has given them the side of the 14K Bengal to pick out the Xborg, one of the formidable foes in the land of Dawn. And I'm curious to see how they will be performing with the Terisla being on the priority, especially after the nerf. What do you think of that, Asya?
Well, nothing much to say. Maybe, just like that Martis band, she could be a comfort pick right there. But at the same time, it's been a while since I saw a Teresla in a tournament recently, and yes, he has been picked up. But I think, Khalid has been taking over that spotlight which uh, Teresla had since his nerf, but at the same time, just look at that. Maybe we will be seeing a couple combo right there with Carmilla and Sicilian, both of them being the top picks right now. Pretty OP heroes, if you ask me. All three of them are the power picks, especially if you combine that Curse of Blood along with that Sicilian's ultimate and the penalty zone from the Teresla. I think it will be quite a show.
Yep, definitely. The Sicilian has climbed up into the ranks with the recent adjustment to the mana as well as the Wishing Lantern becoming his core item. And not to mention, Carmilla has already been meta for quite a while now due to her Curse of Blood, just like you mentioned. And I don't see them often being picked up together because Carmilla gets stolen by Vexana quite often, as well as other mages. So Sicilian really needs to watch out his girlfriend because she's been hanging out with the girlies for quite a while. Anyways, I would like to mention one more thing. Many people do not, actually forget that Carmilla and Sicilian have a passive together. When they're in the match, Sicilian can pull Carmilla inside of him, and that can easily save Carmilla from any form of ambush or ganks that can happen. I have tried out with my friends, and it can be a absolute game changer because you can easily bait out a lot of ultimates like we are seeing the last insanity. Imagine, Carmilla being in the trouble from the last insanity's burst and Sicilian just pulls her inside. So they could pull up a very creative play for the first time in this tournament because this is the first time I'm seeing this couple in the tourney. Huh?
Well, but at the same time, just look at that. A Mia ban is quite weird, but I have been seeing her picked off a lot, especially in ranks after that, the basic attack buff which all marksmen received. So yeah, she is not ban worthy because so many other picks are open right there because they could have banned a Julian, they could have banned, you know, so many other heroes, but at the same time, Ray, I'm really liking both the drafts right now because they did take up that alpha along with that export and a Lilia. They have that balanced output of damage from the point second one into the game because they have that alpha, and the way they'll be scaling towards the end game is also pretty good.
Yeah, really, really agree with you. Like both teams have a balance of the draft, especially the side of the Sicilian. They will be scaling off late game. Not to mention the Turisla received a nerf in the early to mid, but a buff in the late game. So they have the higher chances in the later phases. And just like you mentioned, for the side of the team, 14K Bangle, they also have the combination with Lilia, Porg, and Alpha. So I'm curious what they will be proceeding to do, especially because they have banned out the Mia. It is definitely a respect ban because she's not worthy of a ban in the meta. So maybe there is a very strong Mia player on the side of Team Five Bros One Sis. So let's see what marksman they will be going as the comfort picks have been banned out, and we're proceeding into the last four picks from both teams. What is your prediction for the roamer for the side of 14K Bengal, Asaya?
Well, a lot of options are open. Maybe they go in for a Godot Gacha edit, or even Lolita is open, but at the same time, oh, wait a second. Are we seeing a Fanny picked up? Although I was really loving that alpha on the jungle, but I think he will be. Wait a second. Where will he even go? Because they already have picked up an export for the EXP lane.
Home
I
Fanny?
am so confused. Maybe it will be a Fanny with a Petrify and a Roam. Oh, we do see
Mhm.
ABM with that sort of stuff. Maybe they're trying to pull off something like that.
Yep, yep.
And at the same time, to counter that Fanny, they will be picking up a Mincetar, a quite good pick if you ask me. And that Bane is the cherry on top because I am really loving that combination, when Curse of Blood comes in with the Bane. But why do I see a Popple and a Koopa on the screen, Ray?
Oh my god, I think we are making a debut. Like Ball Dudu would have really loved to cast for this game because Popol Jungle is one of his favorites. And it's a little bit of a disappointing he's not joining us. But we are seeing Popol Jungle making a debut in this tournament for the first time. Popol Jungle, it is a little bit of a controversial pick because, well, he does have the capabilities of being a jungler, especially the buffs he received a season ago who did, that buffed his jungle capabilities, but at the same time, he's really squishy. And once his Koopa dies, he is a very, very like a easy target for the enemies. And I do not understand the Fanny and Alpha pick. Are they having a little bit of an argument, some chaos in between themselves? Because I do not see the retribution being switched out yet. And the only option the Fanny has right now, it is to go for the roam, but they are not switching the spells. Is it a new oh my god, the spell hasn't been swapped out. This spell, oh my god, I think we'll be seeing two retribution on the side of 14K Bengal. Maybe it is a strategy, maybe there was a slight disconnection issue, we do not know. We'll only have to wait and see what will happen in the Land of Dawn. What do you think of this strat, Asuya?
Maybe they're going in for something like Hanzo. Fanny would be the new Hanzo trying to go in with her cables and stealing that blue buff or red buff with a retribution tag. That's the only thing which I can think of right now because, if you ignore those two retribution clash, they did have a pretty good composition. They had that balance with the Lilia, especially with that Nathan towards the late game and Alpha and Export snowballing the early game. But what they
Oh my
did,
god.
I don't understand.
Oh my god, I'm having a season 11 flashback right now. one jungler going for the blue buff, the other one going for the red buff. Oh my god. I am not sure if this was a genuine strategy or there was a miscommunication happening on their end, but we are already in the land of dawn. There is no going back at this point because I don't think that was a connection issue. Oh, the Fanny did came for the red buff, and maybe you are right. They were trying to make a Hanzo play, and she is trying to take out the green, and I think she will succeed in it because the side of the for Fibros once they are not able to oh, I think we'll be seeing the first blood coming in soon. Lilia surviving with the sliver for HP. Fanny also diving in. Vengeance popped in. This is going to be, I think, one of the most interesting games I've casted so far. What about you, Asuya?
Nothing to say, but at the same time, that Firaga armor in a bad position, but he will be healing back up. But at the same time, just look at that. One more thing. Why is a Terizla in front of the Nathan? He will be just getting shredded off, but at the same time, two people onto that X4 Fanny joining in. And, you know, what can I say? This game is quite weird, but just look at that. The Terizla, as I said before, he's getting poked quite much, and Alpha is also joining in. So I think there will be. But wait a second, Alpha isn't level 4. Of course, he didn't have that blue buff, so he cannot take that first blood. And as the turtle spawns, I think the red team has more of a chance because they have 2 retributions on their hands.
Well, we have a really unorthodox game with us tonight. 2 Retribution, Terizla on the gold lane for the first time, despite having a Mincetar who could have gone to the gold lane. I'm seeing a lot of unorthodox plays from both teams. A Popol Jungle making a debut as well with, you are kind of right. They do have 2 Retributions, but Alpha really doesn't seem to be agreeing with that. He doesn't even seem to be interested in the turtle because he's just minding his business, trying to be level 4. Even Fanny, I think Fanny might be coming in, but I think she will be too late. Popol will be getting that turtle, and Borg is looking in a little bit of a trouble, but look at the combination coming in. First blood to the side of the 14k Bengal, but Midstar was able to secure a kill with his King's Calling as Sicilians secures the other one. 2-1 score, and another on the goal lane trying to get as much as gold to his advantage. And I think they picked up the Popol so they could suppress the Fanny as much as they could, so kind of it makes sense to me right now. But at the same time, the double retribution, like in any way, it doesn't make sense. It also didn't follow your like Hanzo Fanny strategy. I think that would have been much more interesting to see.
Well, yes, if they would have charged onto the jungle in the early, that could have made much of a game. But at the same time, Misho Kairi getting poked up by the Terizla because he knows right now 2 of his teammates are waiting out, beating him out. But he knows, Nathan knows, just look at that. He is checking the bush. At the same time, Alpha coming in, he will be displaced by the Sanguine Claws. And at the same time, Lilia also rotating a lot. But just look at the bot lane. Fanny along with that export did force that Mincy to recall, but there will be a flicker coming in because just look at that.
Oh my god, what an engage coming in from the side of the Fibros 1 sis as they were able to engage into the 3 people inside the turret and secure the jungler, actually the other jungler, and the marksman. Very well engaged gank. And for the side of 14k Bengal, I think they will be having a hard time until 5 minutes into the game, and it's still 4 minutes, and Lilia is already facing the trouble. She was forced to be inside the turret as both sides were pressuring her, and she was taken down as well. We are seeing completely one-sided gameplay because of the mishap and the decision that they made in the early phases with the double retribution. Nathan forced to use his ultimate, but Popol might be able to punish him for that aggression that he was making. Alpha, with a great sustain, was able to hold off quite well, but he will just be retreating. And the 5 minutes will be coming in soon, and the junglers will be able to clear their respective lanes, and maybe they will be able to turn the tides, but I'm not that sure because Alpha doesn't have a good spell in this game, and also they have a Sicilian in the opposing team who is getting free stacks. There is nobody catching on to him.
Well, yes, and especially towards the late game, he will be a menace. And at the same time, as the Lord has spawned again, just like you said, I don't think so Alpha is interested this time either. And I think the red team do have that option because they know they will be losing on the team fight. So they might be, they should be just looking on to gang the opposite lanes, trying to take down those towers. But I don't see them doing that either. They're just standing idly by near the turtle, even though they have such internal strifes going on.
Yeah, there's definitely. I don't see this as a strategy. There was definitely some strife going on because Alpha is giving the silent treatment to the Fanny, but Borg might be able to secure the kill onto the Mintada. But the flicker play coming in. He also uses up his flicker, but is forced to go inside the enemy territory suite, where he will be punished by the Sicilians clapping, taking him down and punishing him. Popol is also charging in, and I think Alpha might be in a little bit of a trouble. But no, the Popol will be pushed back by the Nate, and the blue buff will be spawning in. They're already having a fight over who will get the buff, but I think, oh, the Curse of the Blood Moon coming in into the mid lane, and Alpha will be taken down. And I think Fanny was not able to get the blue buff either. This is such a tragedy. I think there was, just like you mentioned, an internal strife going on. And despite having 2 retributions, they have lost all of the objectives and their buffs at this point.
Well, yes, and just look at that. Park Cheong on that Koopa is farming up his KDA of 304, and the amount of damage he's dishing at this point is insane. It's only been 6 minutes, but just look at that. I think the red team needs to try to prioritize the opposite. If there's a turtle in the top lane, they should be prioritizing the bot lane, trying to get some gold, not letting that gold lead get much, and at the same time that Sicilian needs to be shut down if they are looking for any hopes towards the late game.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't think it would be likely considering how Sicilian is always grouped up by his teammates. Popol, Carmilla, even Terisla is always. But Sicilian in a really, really bad position. That was such an overextension coming in from him. And I think he will get taken down because Fanny was able to pinpoint his location. Terisla coming in, and the Xbox was trying to provide the backup, but that was a really bad decision coming in, and he will get punished for that engage. And I'm not sure, like, why do you think Sicilian went into that bush all alone by himself?
Oh well, because they are so ahead at this point of the game, I don't think so it even matters. They even have that beautiful backup coming, unlike
Yep.
the other team. At the same time, Lilia needs to, maybe the entire team needs to just group up together, and Fanny, owing to her mobility, she should be looking for side push.
Oh, look at the King's Calling coming in, a hook connecting into the Lilia. Lilia being forced out to use her black shoes. She will be backing off, but and will be exploding her bombs and just be retreating. One more thing I almost forgot to mention in the draft because of all the, things that were happening with double retribution and everything. It's that the side of the red team doesn't have any form of crowd control, like except for the alpha charge and maybe the Nathan's second skill. Other than that, they do not have any form of crowd control, and that is why the side of the as Fibros once says, they're able to just go into the turrets, go into any engages, knowing that there's no stopping them. Despite this, Terizla being nerfed out, there is no crowd control from stopping him to regenerate most of his health back. And that is why they are not able to do anything. Look at that. I don't know why Nathan was trying to take the red buff all to himself, considering they have 2 junglers in their team. I think there is a lot of internal strife going on, and that is causing a lot of, loss happening onto the side. But Fanny does seem to be doing her best, trying to push as much as she can, because she has the mobility, but I don't think it will amount to anything because there's a lot of, they are not really fighting the enemy, they're fighting amongst themselves. Look at that, there's no communication coming in, and Senpai on that Lilia will be taken down. The Lord will be coming in 20 seconds, and I think we'll have a one-sided game.
Yes, I do believe. And you were talking about crowd control. Forget about that. They don't even have a roam right now. No one even thought of buying that roam. But at the same time, Fanny will be taking down that Koopa. It will be a shutdown, but she will be paying for it. I am actually quite lacking, loving that Fanny, because she is trying to go for the neutral objectives. She is trying to split push. She is doing everything that she can, but there is no follow up, there is no support from the team, especially because they do not have a roam, and the lack of gold at this point, they do not have enough damage.
Yeah, but you know, it's quite impressive. Like, I just noticed the goal gap, it is 2000 only. Like, you'd expect with such like a troll composition into a tournament, you'll expect the other team, you know, snowballing quite early on, but they have been able to deny quite a lot. Look at Terisla getting punished in the mid lane as well. Despite the internal strife they have going on, they have been holding off quite impressively, in my opinion, especially like you mentioned, the Fanny. I think she's doing her best despite not getting a lot of the blue buffs from the mid game. She is making sure to push the lane. She is trying to prioritize the Sicilian, the Popol, but Alpha in a little bit of a bad position, trying to engage, but Fanny will be taken down because she was trying to look into an engage, but that was no success. Popol securing a triple kill. Exborg coming in with the last insanity. I think he will be able to shut down. Oh, it was actually the Nathan who was dragged inside the King's Calling, as 4 of the people from the side of the 14k Bengal are taken down. Exborg is the only one standing, but he will also have to retreat because the Sicilian's damage, as well as my Mincitar, is just way too much right now.
Well, yes, absolutely. And look at Kamsa Hamida trying to dish out some damage onto that export, but his ultimate is up. He will be taken down as Fanny also joins in. I think that was too much of an overextension considering that, you know, the tank did recall and Terizla was on the top lane trying to push. So yeah, I think it was just like you said before, Kamsa Hamida is a bit of an overconfident, trying to check the bushes, trying to take out a solo export, and you shouldn't be doing that because especially he has his immortality. He has 4 lives right now.
Yep, definitely. I think the side of blue team, they are taking it quite lightly. They could have ended the game quite early on, even with the first Lord, but they didn't prioritize that. They were trying to go for the engages, and I think Popol also got hungry with the triple kill, and because of that, he was also taken down. I think they need to prioritize and understand that the more they drag on this game, the more the effects of the draft as well as the gold wouldn't really matter. Despite not having that much of a crowd control, they have the formidable Exborg on their arsenal. They are trying to prioritize though. They are doing what I just mentioned. Look at them. They are trying to take down the Exborg as much as possible. They are trying to take down his immortality. So many resources being wasted. But oh my god, will Exborg survive? Oh my god. Asuya, he actually bought the roam, the conceal, and escaped. And Alpha will be taken down in the mid lane as the Lord is up for the grabs for the side of the Fibros onces, and well, it looks like Exborg and Fanny are the most sensible ones in the team.
Well, yes, absolutely. But you know, at the same time, I'm not sure if that roam is on that export or is it on that Lilia.
I am not
And
sure either.
at the same time, just look at that Fanny trying to, I don't know, she is just trying to bait out someone, waiting for someone. I think the Sicilian doesn't know, so he will be on that hit list. But Carmilla is right there, joining in by the Terizla, so Fanny will just be looking to go back as one of the turret has been taken down again. But I think, oh my god, that Koopa was almost taken down, but the immortality saved him at the same time. That curse of blood connecting onto 2 people. Alpha will be looking to go back. Lilia trying to dish out that damage from her glooms. And as the first lord approaches, I think they will be able to defend because they do have that Lilia, and it's just the first lord, not much of a damage right there. And you know, the ultimates have already been baited out. So yeah, a pretty easy defend.
Oh, look at that. The Terizla coming in. Also, the Mintadra with the King's Calling. Nathan trying to deal a lot of damage. Exborg in a little bit of a bad position. And I think he will get taken down. Finally, a shutdown from the side of the Terizla. And a double kill for the Fanny. Oh my god, a shutdown. I think the side of the 5 bros once is they're taking it way too lightly. Like, just like I mentioned, the 2 retribution doesn't matter. We are proceeding into 15 minutes of the game where you can take almost all of the farm and even the minions because the retribution, you know, the system doesn't give you the minion gold properly in the first 5 minutes, but it's not the stage anymore, and they're able to secure. Like, look at that Alpha, he's farming up as well as the Fanny, and as soon as they become level 15, none of this would matter. And I think you know, it is, you know, not that likely, but if the side of 14k Bengal wins with 2 retributions, no roamer, no tank on their side, no crowd control against the Sicilian in the later phases, I will be like rooting for them like in this whole tournament, and I will be casting for them because this is an like epic comeback. But oh my god, the Fanny was trying to bait out the ultimate from it, but I think, yeah, just like I mentioned, if they win this, I will cast all of their games seriously, because how are they able to like hold off for 15 minutes with such
Well,
bad composition?
if you ask me, I think it's all hats off to that Xborg along with that Fanny. They are prioritizing the targets which need to be prioritized. And that Xborg, dealing out that damage, dishing out, baiting the ultimates. So yeah, just look at
Oh,
that. King's Calling has been baited out as the Lord approaches. And I think this will be a bit more easier for Fanny right now, although she doesn't have that blue buff, but she does have that red, and I think she will be looking to prioritize the Popol and Kuba or the Sicilian because she has been trying to do that a lot. Oh, just look at that as the fight is trying to brew in the blue. Oh
ooh,
god, she just takes that blue with the retribution, but at the same time, Last Insanity has been popped up along with the Curse of Blood onto two people. But Lilia will just be escaping at the same time. Alpha Charge for another escape, and that ultimate with a flicker will be taking that Alpha down at the same time. Look at that Fanny taking
ooh.
that way, Popol and Koopa, as I said. But at the same time, I think the next target will be that, Sicilian, because, he is absolutely pretty good with his Sanguine Claws. I'm really loving how he's deploying his skills, disorienting everyone, and Fanny trying to recall. She will be successful as three people trying to take her down, and the Lord is up. So the blue team will be looking to take this Lord down, but no, I think they're waiting for someone to gang someone, take someone down before they start that Lord. Because
Yep,
even their
and
jungler is dead right now.
yeah. The jungler will be respawning in soon. Look at the Fanny. Like, I really, really respect this Fanny, despite not getting level 4 in the time. I mean, Fanny shines in the early game the most, but despite that, she held on. And right now in the 16 minutes, oh, look at the gang coming in the bot lane. Deprioritized. The Mincetar knowing that they're Mincetar is the main source of the crowd control. Disabling him will help Fanny to take charge into the Lord, and they are doing extremely well. The Look at the scoreboard. It doesn't look like one-sided anymore. As like there's a great, you know, I mean, hats off to the side of Team Fortin Bangle for really holding off, because if I was there, I would lose all hope considering what internal strife was happening in the early phases.
Oh well, and at the same time, I really don't understand how throughout the games, even though they were losing the neutral objectives, losing out on all the turtles and all the turrets, they still do not have any gold lag. Just look at that, almost around 2k. That is not much. And at the same time, that Eggborg is in a bad position. His armor is popped off, but doesn't matter. It will be back in no time. But so many ultimates baited on by that Alpha, he will be taken down. And just look at that, for the fear of that Fanny, both the squishies who were getting targeted by her, they have dawned on that immortality. And I think, the red team should be looking for some objectives on the opposite side of the lane, not waiting out for the Lord, especially because even Alpha is dead right now.
Yep, the alpha did bait out most of the skills, but I think there was a communication issue, as well as I think it was because the Xbox didn't have its Firaga armor, so they decided they will not compete for the Lord, because I think the Fanny was in a really good position to take down the Popol as well, because she has been doing that so far. Like 3 of the deaths from the Popol, it's by Fanny. Very impressive gameplay coming in, but the Luminous Lord is marching down in the mid lane. The Popol being forced to use that skill. Xbox jumping in with that last insanity. Look at the great charge coming in from the King's Calling, as well as the ult coming in. Fanny will be taking down the Carmilla, a mega kill coming in. The Lord being melted down, double kill for the Fanny. Oh my god, someone stop this Fanny because she's performing so well, but instead it is the Lilia being taken down instead. Oh no, even the Sicilian is falling down to the rat. The Winter Crown being brought in the last minute. Great switch, but a monster kill by the Fanny. She's hungry for the Vincita, but seeing there is a lack of energy, I think she will be deciding to retreat, or she's still hungry. Oh my god, look at the scoreboard, look at the gold. There is no difference anymore. How did they pull off this comeback? Oh my god.
Then even look at that Fanny, she doesn't even need that blue buff. That's how good she is prioritizing the objectives, and now she will be looking to steal that blue buff. But at the same
Revenge.
time, I think she should be going back because Terizla does have that flicker, and yes, without wasting that immortality, 1 HP, and she is right back. And it's almost the late game, so I think the blue team will be facing the penalty because they did not end it as soon as possible. Instead, they kind of threw it when the first lord was up.
Yeah, I think they took the Fanny way too lightly because I wouldn't take it. The Fanny is performing extremely well despite, their team composition being so odd. I'm seeing like multiple cables coming in. Look at the Fanny trying to charge it into the Sicilian in the mid lane, but I think she might get punished by the Popol. Finally, the immortality popping off, the Winter Crown being bought, but it was not on time. The Fanny being down, I think they have the opportunity to try to end it because she is the main goal. But I think that, the conceal is actually under Lilia because I thought that was popped by the mage. But anyways, they will be retreating, and I think they are looking to try to engage because they have the Sicilian on their hands, one of the highest late game hitters in the land of dawn, and they're trying to end it as soon as possible because they know as soon as the Fanny is alive, their lives will be in danger because she's on the hunt. She's a true assassin trying to gank into everyone, but the Lord will be spawning in soon. It will be the game's first Mega Lord as we proceeded into 21 minutes of the game.
Yes, absolutely. And just look at that, even Terizla is on with an immortality. And, I think this Lord will be pretty hard to defend, but there is no other option because they do have that Lilia, they do have that Nathan, and then this late game they can clear out almost anything. So I am not sure how well will they fare against the Lord because they only have two of their inhibitors left. At the same time, just look at Rutok. She will be looking to take someone down. She is always in that bush, but no one checks her out. And even when someone does, she just escapes from the other side.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a bit of a mistake from the side of the roamer of the five rose ones, just considering they're not taking the bush. I don't know why. And look at that, a clever
Oh,
recognition coming in. Fanny just showing she is definitely like. I think your prediction that she's the Hanzo, it is definitely true. They've not been able to take any of the blue buffs from the Fanny because how well she's hiding. Like really unpredictable. But this is the Mega Lord. Look at the penalty zone coming in, quicker play, the Borg as well as the Nathan popping off their ultimate, trying to defend the Lord as much as possible. Wind of Nature being popped, King's Calling coming in. Fanny, they are trying their best, but I think it won't be enough as the Nexus is vulnerable. This is the Mega Lord, and despite their best efforts, they were not able to defend
Victory!
this Mega Lord as the victory will be going to the side of the Five Bros One Sis. But honestly, like I salute this Fanny from the side of 14K Bengal for holding off this game for so long. I do understand the side of Fibros once is they were taking it lightly, they were doing a lot of blunders on their side, but the gameplay from the Fanny was absolutely beautiful. I think like so far one of the best Fannies we've seen in this tournament. Don't you think so, Asuya?
well, yes, I really loved her gameplay. I loved the way she was prioritizing what was actually should have been prioritized. She wasn't diving in too deep, and just look at that. She just has four deaths. At the same time, I think that Alpha was way too far ahead, always getting ganged up, not in a good position. So I don't know what really happened, but I really love how she was prioritizing Kamsa Hamnida and Park Taeyong on the, you know, Popper and Koopa and the Sicilian because yes, they needed to be taken down. And as a result, just look at that. He did get that immortality, they get that winter crown, and at the same time, just like you said, they lacked that CC. So yeah, even if the game was towards the late game, they couldn't do anything because that curse of blood did connect onto five people as the Mega Lord marched down the mid lane. So yeah, the blue team is did take this victory, but Vani has my heart.
Definitely, Fanny really capturing our heart from this gameplay. Really, really, I hope to see Ruda on joining more tournaments. And I think if they didn't have that personal strife, I mean, if you look at the Alpha's performance, it was really subpar. It was like I'm not sure if it was connection issues or what was happening, but I hope the next time they won't have it. They come in with the proper roam and they show this beautiful gameplay to even more better teams and to more audiences, and I will hope to see them again. But anyways, congratulations, to the side of 14K Bengal. And do we have? I think we'll have more matches coming in. So, ladies and gentlemen, do stay tuned as we'll be back with a short break.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome you all to Legends Unleashed Season 3, Round 3, Day 2. My name is Solskjaer, and hey, we are here to witness an epic battle. But before that, let me introduce you to my co-caster. How are you, Ray?
Damn, my bro Solski. What a banger introduction you just did. Thank you for introducing me to our dear viewers. And I'm also excited to witness the game of these both teams that will be, competing for the next round. And let's see how they will be performing as we are already into the draft phase and we are seeing the usual meta bans, but an early Mincetar ban coming in as well. So what do you think of it?
I mean, pretty good. See, if they have already banned a Ling, Ruby, a Lunox, and as you mentioned, Chip, Minchitar, Alice. So I think there are pretty much most of the possibilities of picking an EXP in a real for the first pick from the side of blue, because in EXP there is quite a. I would do like personally, if I was their coach, I would just say just ban. If I was in the red team's coach, I would just say just ban Khalid because Khalid has become a menace. His passive has a I don't know whether 0.5 second cooldown or 1 second cooldown, and he has all the ability because he is a tanky hero plus he's a damage dealing hero. So Khalid, I would say Khalid pick should be a prioritized pick in the first pick if you have the first pick. But I think BBZ is going with that Yuzhong pick, quite a evergreen pick because Yuzhong has been a consistent. But look at that, here comes my boy all the way from the Dubai Habibi, Khalid. Welcome in the land of dawn for this battlefield.
Yeah, definitely. Like the quick turn of events we just had from the recent patch notes, as well as I think, pro tournaments, like all these tournaments that have been going in the background, as well as the MPL that it has been happening onto the Southeast Asia, has affected how the meta has been looked upon. Because like a few days ago, Phobius was everybody's priority list, right? Phobius, 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 ban pick, ban pick. But right now, the priority has completely switched up. Just like you said, he came from Dubai. The Khalid is the priority pick for so many teams right now, and we're seeing him being picked up despite the Phobius still being open. So let's see if the side of the red team they will be going to, pick it, or maybe no, an early Fanny pick. Oh my God, do you think they were afraid that the Fanny could be banned out in the later phases, or this is a very confident pick coming in?
I mean, if they are picking Fanny in the first picking phase, so I'm pretty sure that they have Team Blue has done their homework because if I was in their place, I would have
Mhm.
banned Fanny in the second banning phase. So yep, that's a good quick-witted answer coming from the red side. There's a TEC, but let's see what BBG is gonna ban because they have got two picks right now in the first picking phase, and now I think they have a possibility to go towards that marksman pick. But yes, if they have picked Kufra, I think they are gonna go for Harith as a gold laner because Kufra counters the Harith, or maybe some other meta heroes that are gonna go. Yep. There's gonna Harith is also a magic hero. Okay, so Vexana is also a magic hero. So somewhat it's kind of making me right. But yeah, keeping my ego aside because I was wrong. Now focusing on the last pick of the side, Team Red. What are your thoughts, by the way, brother?
Well, we are seeing, quite a bit of a meta picks. The Kufra being prioritized quite early on for the Fanny. Well, very understandable. And the Vexana, the Queen of the Nether, being as popular, she will be facing off against one of her allies. It is the Faramis, which is being picked early on as well. I was honestly expecting of Valentina to, respond to the Faramis, but I think they will instead be going in for a crowd control proposition, as we are seeing Terizla being locked in as the EXP laner. He has fallen from his grace after the nerf into his early game scaling as well as the damage reduction nerf. So him against the Khalid, who's just in the trend right now, we'll have to see how we will be performing. But at the end of the day, I've seen many teams just wanted Rizla for the multiple man penalty zone. So let's see what will happen as we're proceeding into the second ban phase and see what heroes both teams do not want in the Land of Dawn. And it is the Claude for the side of the red team so far.
Yep, exactly. And now, as we move on to the second banning phase, and as you mentioned, they have picked up Terizla as the EXP laner. But did you see a Petrify Fanny? And that might,
Mhm.
brother, that might, give the indication that Fanny is going to that gold lane. I'm pretty excited to see that gold lane is pretty, having so much of flexible heroes right now. Either be Ruby, either with it be whether it be what do you call it, Arath, or maybe some other assassin that's like a Fanny, or maybe some other assassin like Hayabusa. So gold lane has like so many creative plays nowadays in this current season, but now they have gone for that Diggy ban. And personally, if they had banned Diggy, so I would have just thought that they are gonna go for Atlas, but they have already picked a Kufra. So I don't know why they banned Diggy. Maybe they are gonna pick some CC dependent draft. We have to see, because they already got 3 CC from the first 3 picks only. Look at the Vexana Eternal Guard, Tyrant's Rage Revenge coming from Kufra, and this Khalid, our Habibi guy, has a Raging Sandstorm plus that Circling Slash plus the slow coming from his passives. A lot of CC right just there. But now we can see a second, like last ban is gonna be from the Team Red, the detectives, and I'm pretty sure they are saying that they have picked the mage, EXP, and a tank, so they should just ban a gold laner or maybe some other jungler.
Yeah, and I agree with, just you described. And they're, you know, banning out the Dicky quite early on. Maybe just like you mentioned, I won't repeat what you said. And I think, they're trying to predict maybe some compositions. I mean, just like you mentioned, they have done their homework, and perhaps they do not want, the Khalid not being countered by the Tiki. And only time will tell, because I'm really, really confused, because, I was expecting the Fanny to go into jungle, but instead she will probably be going for the gold lane. So let's see what both of these teams will be giving us, as the Roger has been locked in as well. And let's see what jungler they will be responding it from the side of the team Kimada, I think, right? Yep.
Yep, exactly. And after listening to Kurumada, I have just got my childhood bell rings in back of my mind. That's the OG villain in my, when I was like maybe 5 to 15 years old. The OG villain in my heart was Kurumada, and this time Kurumada is
Ooh.
on the blue side, and they are going with that God's chosen emperor. And I think I personally know that player, so I won't be taking. See, casters can't have biasness, but they can have their favorites. So God chosen emperor, I have seen him play, so he plays real good jungler. But we have to wait, because we are seeing a tournament in which anything can happen, and especially when you reach a certain point in a tournament, when when the teams are very segregated now, and the only which teams were better than before, they are already in the part of the tournament that we are seeing right now. So here, anything can happen. But we can see after that Moscow and Fredrin pick the Jojo of the Land of Dawn, the Fredrin, they have completed their draft. But we have to see how Team Red, the detectives, how are they gonna finish this draft? Because other detective, they have got a detective hero, that's the Roger human form, and let's see what their last pick is gonna be, brother.
Yep, we'll have to wait and see and what they will be performing. And thank you for sharing that, information about Kimada. And let's see how both teams will be performing, as they have picked up the Roger from the side of the detectives, and they also have the Brody. And I'm curious to see how they will be performing against the Moscow, one of the formidable marksmen. So, anyways, we'll have to see what we'll be proceeding with. I'm very interested, because one of the things that excite me a lot, because it's the Fanny. She's one of the most trendiest junglers in all over the